Good day. My name is Mudashir Shitu. Welcome to another exciting moment of sport on TV360, and it's going to be definitely an exciting moment today. Just a few days ago, the Russian, led by their president, led the neighboring neighbor Ukraine to an invasion that has been condemned across the globe. But in the sporting world, never did we know that that particular order given by Putin might really change the world of sport for those that represent Russia. And on today's topic, we'll be looking at the effects of Russia invasion on global sport. There have been many issues making headlines about that invasion, and one of it is that it has affected all the sporting bodies in the world. Doing this with me will be Tunde Eludini, a seasoned sports journalist who will help us and analyze the present situation and the present predicament on Russia invasion on global sport. It's good to have you, Tunde Eludini.
Once more. Thank you very much for having me once more.
Yes, Tunde, just like every other person, you weren't expecting that invasion. When we saw that, the reverse of global effect on sports seems to be something Russia has not bargained and the rest of the world did not bargain for. Let me just start. What do you think the effect of this on the global sport? We have many suspensions, many disciplines has been melted on Russia. Part of it is, which we're starting with, is FIFA bans Russia from hosting international football match and expel them from the World Cup. What does this mean to you?
Sometimes you hear the phrase that politics and sports are separate, but this past few days has proved us wrong. That there is more to sport than just playing on the field. There is the politics of sport, and that is what is playing out in Russia presently. Since the invasion of Ukraine by Russia, we've had a lot of sanctions coming out on Russia, and like you rightly pointed out, FIFA has suspended any form of international matches in Russia. Apart from that, the first will be the Champions League final. The Champions League final was meant to take place in St. Petersburg, but now UEFA has ruled against that, taking that away from Russia and giving Paris to host the Champions League final. That is the first of many of the sanctions that have been meted on to Russia. So gradually, I begin to see that there's a way that sports have a say when it comes to international politics. Even before now, we could remember far back, as far as back the apartheid era, when the likes of Nigeria boycotted the Olympics because of apartheid. So I think sports is a big weapon that nations have been using to pass home their political differences.
Before FIFA banned Russia, they really hold on to a bit. They do really want to take that decision. It have to be nations like Czech Republic, Poland that actually ensure that by saying that they won't play any match, World Cup qualifier with Russia, the Poland said that, Czech FA also said that, and the English FA also tweeted that in previous games in any level they will not play with Russia. If FIFA didn't take that decision, would it have been a good decision if FIFA did not expel Russia from the World Cup and did not listen to other countries that wanted them expelled?
Well, I'm sure FIFA knew that they were treading on a dangerous path. What was expected from FIFA outrightly was to ban Russia, but they tried to play smart with the initial pronouncement that they made. But like you said, after the outcry, after the likes of Czech, after the likes of Poland spoke out, FIFA was left with no other option than to do what was right. If you recall, Russia were the last World Cup host, Russia 2018, just down the corner. So you can imagine the kind of relationship they had with FIFA. Before a country can be given the hosting right of the World Cup, that's the biggest event on the FIFA calendar. So for Russia to have been given that privilege to host the World in 2018, then it shows a high level of partnership between FIFA and Russia. So I think that was what FIFA was trying to protect in the earlier stance when they gave something like a slap in the wrist. But when the outcry was much, they had to do the right thing by actually banning Russia from any form of international matches.
But rightly said, the IOC also, that's the International Olympic Committee, are called on sporting bodies to cancel all matches or all events that will be held in Russia and Belarus, who seems like supporting the Russia in the invasion. Is it not getting too much for this? I mean, we expect that there should not be sporting policies included in politics. Is it not much of these sanctions?
Well, I don't think anything is much for bodies to bring about normalcy, to bring about the return of peace, because this is a war situation that we find ourselves now, and so any step that can be taken that would make both parties to sheath their sword and allow for peace to reign, I don't think it's too much. Since the IOC, the International Olympic Committee, called for the cancellation of all sporting events in Russia, we've had the Swimming Federation cancelling the Junior World Championship that was meant to hold in Russia. We also had the Volleyball Championship that was meant to hold in Russia. Both have already been cancelled, and we can expect that even more will be cancelled in the days ahead. And the thing about the situation we find ourselves is that there is no discordant truth. It's not that IOC is saying something, FIFA is saying something different. It's not that the FI is saying something, Formula One is saying something. Everybody is united on this cause, because the essence of this war is predicated on injustice, perceived injustice. And so there are better ways to drive home your point than going to war and wasting innocent lives. So the fact that the sporting world is united on this and makes it even more welcoming. So you can get results when you are all united. But if IOC says one thing and the member federations are doing another thing, then there would have been a problem. But right now, I think everybody is united for a purpose, and the purpose is to see that Russia and Ukraine return to peace and allow peace to reign in their midst.
Yeah, well said. And let me be, because it's not there's not how we won't come close to politics of the game. Do you think it's because it's Ukraine and the interests of NATO, so to say, and other interests that allow such punishment? Because I've never seen in a long while where FIFA, the IOC, the Chess Federation, the Judo, who also have Putin as the honorary president, has also removed him. All the sporting events, like you rightly said, are coming together to take this decision. What was that unification of decision amongst them? Is it because it's Russia, or if there's to be another country, will all bodies come together to take such a decision?
Well, for me, I think it's the unique scenario that we find ourselves. It wasn't a question of two countries trying to flex muscles. If you look at Ukraine and Russia, we know that Russia has the superior firepower when it comes to military capabilities. And so I think there are better ways Russia will have, whatever agenda they have, whatever demands they want from Ukraine, there are better ways to go about it than going to war. Like I said, even if you look at, we've heard in the news where Russian populists, as in people from Russia, even protesting against this war. So it shows that it is not a national war. It's not a war of national interest. It's not that Russia has been threatened in one way or the other that warrants that they should defend their territorial integrity with a war. So this looks more like a selfish agenda by the Russian president in the person of Putin. And so if an individual wants to take a whole country to a ransom, then I think it should be called to the order. And that is why you have this unity. If, for example, Ukraine, and Ukraine was like a threat to Russia, then you will see that there will be some level of support for Russia, some level of support for Ukraine. This is not rebels fighting. This is not a coup. There's no attempt at usurping power from Putin or any other thing like that. So I think the purpose behind the war is the reason for the unity. It doesn't serve a national interest. It serves more of a selfish interest by a president that is power drunk, and that's how I see it. And that is why everybody is standing against, even apart from the sporting sanctions. If you look at the financial sanctions that are also being meted out to Russia, in previous times, Switzerland always play the policy of neutrality. But for this particular case, they have joined and they are going to help even in enforcing those sanctions against Russia. It speaks a lot. Everybody is like, it is Russia against the world. There is hardly anybody that has come out in the open to support what is going on in Ukraine. And I think the earlier Putin takes a second look at what he's doing and find better means of getting his wills done than war. Because like I said, this is going to waste lives, innocent lives for that. We know how many Nigerians are schooling in Ukraine. We know how many Africans, we know how many people across the world that are in Ukraine that are threatened right now. So when you put all these two things together, the world has to unite to stop this kind of a cause.
Okay, thank you, well said. And let me ask you before we go off on a quick break, is this sanction, do you think it will really change the mind of the man they call Putin? Do you see there will be a change? Because we know he's a sport-loving president, he's the honorary president of judo, he's very close to the president and FIFA president. We see him, Russia has hosted the World Cup, they've done many bigger sporting events, they've done the Olympics and all that, and this is because Putin is a sport-loving president. Do you think this will have an effect and a change of mind, these sanctions on Russia?
Well, if it's just about sports, I'm not sure sports alone is enough to change Putin's mind. But if you look at the total sanctions that are being planned, even looking at the news already, you can see the Russian currency already crashing down. You can see that the economy of Russia is already being affected by this. And so the combination of all these factors can help Putin to change his mind. But if it's just about the sports sanctions, I don't think they are. It doesn't really cost. If it's just, like I said, if it's just about the sports sanction and the economy is going on as well as expected, the finances are still coming in as expected, I think Putin will call the bluff. But beyond the sports, beyond the fact that it is more than sports, then we can begin to. I think there's even a level of negotiation already going on. We only hope to see the best from those talks.
Yeah, thank you very much. Today we'll go on a quick break, and when we come back, there's still more questions for you, so that our commentator and those people dropping a message on Facebook and our social media can comment on what is going on.
Hello? Yeah, I found your wallet in front of a supermarket. Meet me at Apple Junction. Yes, I'll be waiting for you.
Now we find out. Two of us.
Thank you very much, officer. You know, it's surprising that men like you still exist in the police force.
Yes, oh, yes.
This is just a token of my appreciation.
Oh, no, you don't need to do this. We're only doing our job.
Thank you very much. God bless you.
You're welcome.
Now I know police is really my friend.
Yes.
Friend. Hey.
Which came up with this one? I don't understand. You know your problem. You are greedy. I'm a policeman who is doing his job. All forms of corruption in the force. Not in my country.
Corruption not in my country.
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, we're looking at the effect of Russia invasion on global sport. Russia has been suspended, sanctions by the IOC and also FIFA. The president of Russia has also been taking his position as the honorary president of judo. Even the chess federation and every sporting event that was meant to take place in Russia has been suspended. And if you're a football-loving fan, you should also know that the UEFA Champions League is no longer going to take place in St. Petersburg. It is now in Paris. Doing justice to all this is Tunde Eludini, who has been giving us his opinion and his research on this particular topic. And now, Tunde, will the world learn so much? I'm coming back to FIFA, especially FIFA, and knowing that FIFA has said that no government should intervene in issues of footballing matters. Now, it seems FIFA also are now intervening in issues of the government, of a sovereign government, and that's Russia, for the invasion, which is not a footballing matter, as the case may be. Do you think FIFA is not stepping itself on the foot?
Well, depending on how you look at it, football is for the good of the game. And for example, we have footballers in Ukraine that ordinarily should be protected by FIFA. And so if a country is threatening their livelihood, is threatening their existence, and FIFA does not have any missile that they will throw to Russia. They don't have any power they can throw. This is what they can do. And I think it's a step in the right direction.
Lastly, let's not look at one particular case that's been trending. That's the Roman Abramovich case, the owner of Chelsea. It seems that from the last report getting to our decks is that he is no longer going to be the owner, quote and unquote, of no longer going to be in charge of Chelsea Football Club. That it will be handed over to an NGO, a charitable organization, pending the outcome of from findings. I don't know how true that is, but what are you saying? Do you think the FA hasn't gone too far in taking such decision?
Well, the way this war is going, everybody that is connected to Putin is wants to be gauged. Like, for example, now, if you freeze Putin's account and someone that is very close to him, like Abramovich, has all the money in the world, he can still, I'm not saying he's funding the war, but he can still go ahead to do so. And so the international community is finding a way that he can cut away everybody that they know have one form of ties or the other with Putin. And so in a smart way by Abramovich, he's not giving up his ownership of Chelsea, but the day-to-day running that he has been overseeing, he has given that to the club's trustees to do. And though there's still a bit of it's not yet a done deal. It's not as easy as said. Yes, there was a statement saying that he has given the running to the trustees, but I think there are much to do because it's looking like a smart way so that Chelsea does not get affected. But the coming days will still have to put more light on that. And so, but for me, I think it's going to be going too far if a club like Chelsea is affected because of what is happening in Russia or Ukraine, and because their owner is a Russian. I think that will be going too far. They don't have any direct ties with whatever is going on there, and so they should not be punished for that. Already now, we already have our Victor Moses. He's already been affected by this ban. Spartak Moscow, they are supposed to play in the round of 16 of the Europa League, but the club has been banned. And so the chance for Victor Moses to win a second Europa League title is already off it. So these are rippling effects that would affect the so-called innocent. But what has to be done has to be done. All we want is peace, and we hope that peace will return to Russia and Ukraine very soon.
Lastly, before I let you go, Tunde, we know that Abramovich has Chelsea Football Club of England close to his heart. He lives and breathes that football club. We know that if he's, with this policy, do you think that will have an effect on the field of play Tuchel and his boys will probably be missing that fatherly figure, because most times they win trophies, there's this recognition and respect and gift that comes from Abramovich to the players. Do you think the players will miss him since he's not going to come to England and he will not be having a daily affairs on his club? Will that affect the field of play?
Well, for me, I don't think that should have effect on the pitch of play. And these guys are professionals. Once for me, once the club is properly set up and the finances are well in check, it's not a function of the fact that Abramovich is not around, so there's no money to fund the club. Once that is not the case, I think his presence is an addition, it's an additional boost, but it's not enough to start influencing result on the pitch. These guys are professional, like I said. At least they played for clubs, they played for other clubs where there was no Abramovich and they were delivering. So if you come to Chelsea and there was Abramovich good, when he's not around, you still have to do your job. It's a job. So I don't think that should affect their result. I think we should even spur them to do more and say, okay, whether he's around or he's not around, we can hold our own and do the best that we should do.
Yes, thank you very much for doing justice to this topic. That's the effect of Russia invasion on global sport. Thank you very much, Tunde Aludini.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, that's all we could take on today's program. Same time, we will be giving you the updates on all effect of Russia invasion on global sport. Bye for now.